This video is sponsored by PTCGLstore.com, a great place for you to buy Pokemon TCG code cards. Please remember to use my code NIGHT22 at checkout so that you can get a 5% discount. Hey guys, in today's video, I'll be showcasing Team Rocket's Chingling from the Destined Rivals expansion set. Team Rocket's Chingling is one of our new baby Pokemon in the format, marked by its low 30 HP, 0 retreat, and 0 attack cost. What makes this an awesome new card is because of its attack, Chiming Commotion. For 0 energy, this lets you discard a random card from your opponent's hand. This disruption is so good because it's random, so for the most part neither player has any control over what will be discarded, and this attack can quite literally prevent your opponent from playing any cards from their hand on their first few turns of the game. And I like pairing Chingling with Xerosic's Machinations because this forces your opponent to discard cards from their hand until they only have 3 left. So when you can use this on your first turn and then discard a random card with Chingling, you can leave your opponent with just 2 cards in their hand going into their turn. And this can sometimes even prompt your opponent to just concede right away, which is pretty crazy. If you just use Chingling by itself though, it's not really going to get you far in any game because at some point that your opponent gains momentum and draws a lot of cards, they can just knock out all of your Pokemon and they win the game. So how exactly do you win with this build? Well, one way is with the help of Team Rocket's Grimer. Thanks to its corrosive sludge attack, you put the effect where at the end of your opponent's next turn, discard the defending Pokemon and all attached cards. So after disrupting your opponent's hand in the first turn or two with Chingling, and then they can't really do anything else, you can just have Grimer discard your opponent's Pokemon one by one until they have no more. So that's one way to win the game. I also really like having Gravity Gemstone in this build so that when you equip it to Team Rocket's Grimer, it will not be so easy for your opponent to retreat, increasing the probability that their Pokemon will be discarded. But just in case, I thought it necessary to add at least one copy of Team Rocket's Muk to evolve Grimer. More for its first attack, Gooped Up, which deals 40 damage, confuses your opponent's active, and prevents them from retreating. With careful planning, you can trap your opponent's active while you set up or strategize for a deck out. And that brings us to the next win condition, deck out. But we're going to need help from Team Rocket's Arbok. It has the Potent Glare ability. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent cannot play any Pokemon that has an ability from their hand except for Team Rocket's Pokemon. This powerful ability may just prevent your opponent from evolving their Pokemon, and as their cards build up in their hands, you can just use Xerosic's Machinations again to have them discard all of their cards. There are actually many ways to get around Arbok's ability, but if your opponent manages to evolve their Pokemon, you can just use TM Devolution, and then you can devolve all of your opponent's Pokemon so that they put those Pokemon into their hand, and you can just keep preventing them from evolving their Pokemon. And you can also use Team Rocket's Arbok to attack for 3 Dark Energies. Spinning Tail deals 30 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. To combo along with its ability, you may just be able to knock out all of your opponent's low HP Pokemon within just a few turns. And this will be the 3rd and 4th win condition, is to knock out all of your opponent's Pokemon or take all of your prizes. As for the other cards worth noting, I will be using Team Rocket's Botherbot. Surprisingly enough, this card is actually super disruptive and useful. To use it, you turn one of your opponent's face down prize card face up. After that, you choose a random card from your opponent's hand. Your opponent reveals the card. Then you may have your opponent switch those cards. This may not seem like much, but if you're able to prize one of your opponent's most useful cards, you may just be able to prevent them from progressing. This is a really good card to have in this deck. And finally, for my Ace-Spec card, I'll be using Neutralization Zone. This will prevent all damage done to Pokemon that don't have Rule Box by attacks from the opponent's Pokemon EX and Pokemon V. If you can use this late game, especially if your opponent doesn't have many cards left, you can just remain invincible the rest of the game, and Chingling can just continually discard your opponent's cards until they deck out. Also, since we are only using Team Rocket's Pokemon in this build, we'll be utilizing all available Team Rocket's trainer cards for draw support and consistency. This Team Rocket's Chingling and Team Rocket's Arbok build is so much fun to play. This is also one of my favorite builds in the new set. I really put a lot of thought into this deck and I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you guys have any other suggestions to improve this deck, please let me know in the comments below. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Team Rocket's Chingling and Team Rocket's Arbok. Before we get into the video, I have a small request. If you're liking the content I create, please leave a like to this video and please support this channel by subscribing if you haven't already. This is a small click for you, but for me, it means a lot. Thank you so much for all of your support. Alright, on to our first match. I will be starting this one with Team Rocket's Chingling in the active spot. I will be going first as well, and I have Xerosic's Machinations, which is awesome. We have Team Rocket's Transceiver. Hopefully, Proton is not prized. And my opponent is starting with Chi-Yu, which is very interesting. let's go ahead and use our transceiver. And we got our proton. Alright, nice. Again, you can use this on your very first turn. This allows you to search your deck for up to 3 basic Team Rockets Pokemon, put it into your hand. So I'll just set up Team Rockets Ekans, another Chingling, and Team Rockets Grimer, and I'm just gonna end my turn. So next turn we can probably use Xerosic's Machinations, and then just put our opponent's hand down to just 2 cards. We're gonna set up Charmander and Pidgey, and 2 other Charmanders. So we're going up against Charizard EX. I believe this is winnable. As long as we can keep our Arbok in the active spot, we can prevent them from evolving into their Charizard EX. And they're very dependent on evolving from their hand, because that's the only way to activate their ability. So let's go ahead and evolve into Arbok, attach the Team Rocket's energy. We're going to use Xerosic's Machinations, force our opponent to discard cards from their hand until they only have 3. And we're just going to use Chiming Commotion. And we discarded a Charizard EX. Look at that. Alright. So they drew for turn. They will evolve into Pidgeotto and into Charmeleon. They have an Iono. They can draw into 6 cards. I mean, if they have Rare Candy, they can fully evolve into Charizard EX. And they're gonna end their turn. Alright, cool. So, I have an extra energy. If we use TM Devolution, it's not gonna affect Charmeleon. But I'm gonna use Team Rocket's Giovanni to get this Charmeleon in the active. And we're just gonna attack with Spinning Tail. Deal 30 damage to all of their Pokemon. Eventually, we can just knock out all of their Pokemon within the next 2 turns, actually. And even this Charmeleon, it has the ability where it prevents any effects of attacks from being done to it. They still can't evolve into Charizard EX. And without any energies to accelerate to it, it can't even attack. So, we are in a pretty good position here, actually. They're going to use Iono again. And we got Neutralization Zone, which is good. You always want to use that late in the game, never in the middle. Unless absolutely necessary. So I'm going to use Xerosic's Machinations again. This is such an annoying combo. So now my opponent is down to just 3 again. Put another Ekans in play. And Spinning Tail one more time. So next turn, we could just wipe out their board, except for Chi-Yu. They're gonna boss our Ekans into the active. That's fine, we have a switch. They better be able to evolve here. They have Ultra Ball. And they're gonna evolve into Pidgeot EX, but you know what? We already played Team Rocket's Watchtower. They can't use their ability. All colorless Pokemon's abilities are turned off right now. Wow, this is the worst matchup for our opponent. Let's go ahead and switch into Arbok, and my opponent can seize. There it is. Good game. Alright, let's move on to game number 2. Once again, I will be starting this one with Team Rocket's Chingling in the active spot. We also have Team Rocket's Ekans on our bench. And my opponent is going to start with Dreepy. So we're actually going against Dragapult EX. This could be a tough matchup. But for now, I'm just going to attach Team Rocket's energy on Ekans, and I'm just going to pass. If we can evolve into Team Rocket's Arbok, I could disrupt my opponent so they can't evolve into their Dracloaks, because for the most part, these Dragapult EX builds rely heavily on Dracloak to help them draw into a lot of cards. However, it really depends on my opponent's build, because if they play a lot of rare candies, even Arbok cannot prevent them from evolving straight to Dragapult EX, because Dragapult does not have any abilities. So now it's our turn again. We got Team Rocket's Petrel. I could actually just grab an Ultra Ball. So let's go ahead and get this. I can discard these 2. Get Team Rocket's Arbok. Then we can retreat Chingling because it has no retreat cost. Evolve into Arbok. Attach the Dark Energy, and we can even start attacking with Spinning Tail, dealing 30 damage to all of their Pokemon. Now, Arbok's ability is active. Our opponent will not be able to play any Pokemon cards from their hand to put on their bench or to evolve. And they're just gonna use Professor's Research, discarding a lot of Pokemon, Dracloak along with Monkidori. But Artisan is a loophole, because that allows our opponent to search their deck for a basic Pokemon with no rule box and put it straight to their bench. And they have Shaman. That actually prevents our damage from being done to their bench Pokemon. For now, I'm just gonna disrupt their hand with Xerosic's Machinations. Force our opponent to discard cards from their hand until they only have 3 left. Again, they will discard Dracloak and an energy. And I'm just gonna keep attacking. I'm not damaging their bench Pokemon, but one way or another, I will knock out their active. For now though, my opponent's gonna continue to set up other basic Pokemon on their bench. And once again, they're gonna use Professor's Research. Oh, they have Ultra Ball. If they have Rare Candy, they can evolve into Dragapult EX. But no, they're gonna get Dracloak again. And they're just gonna keep passing. Okay. Let's go ahead and draw with Ariana. We got Botherbot. I'm gonna choose number 1. So we got Hawlucha. We're gonna have him keep Hawlucha, and I'm just gonna keep attacking with Spinning Tail. So Team Rocket's Botherbot is actually really awesome. Oh, they have a boss's orders. Okay, they can start evolving now though. This is not good. If we can find our TM Devolution, I think we should be fine though. Okay, they didn't evolve. Oh, we got Team Rocket Spectrel. Look at that. Heart of the cards, guys. Let's go ahead and use Spectrel. I'm gonna get TM Devo, and I'm just gonna devolve them. Keep our Arbok in the active, and just keep preventing them from evolving into their Dracloaks. So I'm just gonna devolve, and we're gonna keep going with this. And that's basically the whole strategy, guys. We're just gonna keep annoying our opponent. They have another boss, okay. And that's one of the strategies for this build, is to actually have your opponent expend their resources. So once they run out, they're just gonna give up. We have to find another TM Devo. Okay. Look at that! Ask and you shall receive. Let's go ahead and evolve with Arbok once again, and we're just gonna prevent our opponent from evolving. Wow, that was a epic draw. But let's go ahead and use Xerosic's Machinations. Have them discard their cards once again. And we're just gonna keep at it. Spinning Tail, we get a knockout here, and their Fezandipity EX is not immune. So we get our first prize. We got Ariana. Okay, cool. So Shaman's ability only protects Pokemon with no rule box on them. They have an unfair stamp though. We get to draw 2, they get to draw 5 plus 3 with a flip the script. Will they be able to evolve into Dragapult EX? They have Counter Catcher. Okay. We took a prize though, that's the thing. There's the Dracloak. We don't have any more TM Devo, so this is gonna be a tough time now. I mean, we still have Neutralization Zone. If we're left with just one Pokemon in the active, we should still be able to win this. But they are slowly running out of cards from their deck though. They're just gonna attack with Dreepy. They're desperate, guys. They are desperate. Let's go ahead and use Artisan. I'm gonna get Team Rocket's Grimer just in case they evolve into Dragapult. We can have them discard it. And I'll set up another Ekans just in case. I'm gonna use Chiming Commotion. We got a Dragapult EX. Look at that! They're just running out of energy. They just can't evolve into Dragapult EX, guys. That's insane. That is insane. And basically that's the whole strategy for this build, guys. It's just to keep annoying our opponent. This is the new control, guys. The new control deck. But no, my opponent gets to evolve into their Dragapult EX. They can start taking multiple knockouts. They get to evolve into 2 Dragapult EX. They're gonna use Counter Catcher to target Arbok. Now they can take 2 knockouts, or yeah, 2 for now. And they get to spread 6 damage counters on our benched Pokemon. So for now, oh, we got Neutralization Zone. It really depends on whether or not my opponent still has a Stadium. And we had him discard Boss's orders. Look at that. Team Rocket's Chingling is low-key awesome, guys. This combination with Grimer, Arbok, and Chingling is super awesome. They can try attacking our Chingling. We will be immune to damage. Although they can attack with their other basic Pokemon. They're gonna use Badoo to attack, item locking us, knocking out our Team Rocket's Chingling. I'm gonna put Grimer in the active. I just need to draw. Okay, we got Colress Tenacity. That's actually good enough. We can get Team Rocket's energy. That's what I wanted, actually, is the energy. Dude, the heart of the cards, guys. And I'm just gonna keep using Corrosive Sludge moving forward here. If they can't boss, we should be able to win this. If they don't have any more Stadium, that's it. I'm just gonna have them keep discarding their cards, and they're gonna concede. Look at that. Wow, good game. Moving on now to our third match. Both players had to mulligan once, and it looks like we're going against Gholdengo EX. And once again, we will start with Team Rocket's Chingling in the active, along with Team Rocket's Grimer on our bench. While my opponent starts with Gimmighoul along with Monkey Dory. We are going first, but all I can do is just put Jamming Tower into play and pass. We have Neutralization Zone, but you never want to put that into play until late in the game when your opponent has very few cards left in their deck. My opponent will also set up Ethan's Cyndaquil, so we're also going against Ethan's Typhlosion, which can hit for a lot of damage. They will boss my Grimer, and they're just gonna pass. Alright, we got an Iono. I think I'm just gonna play Team Rocket's Petrel to get a switch. Since my opponent only has 3 cards left in their hand, might as well just have them discard another one with Chiming Commotion. So they discarded a Fire Energy. But they will evolve into Gholdengo EX. While it's in the active, coin bonus allows them to draw 2 cards instead of 1. So that's not good. Or actually, no, it's fine. The more cards they draw, the more cards we can have them discard with Xerosic's Machinations, right? And they couldn't even attack. Alright, I'm okay with that. We got Gravity Gemstone. Actually, I'll just probably use Iono here. That way, we can set up more. Okay, we got Team Rocket's Muck. I could actually trap their Gholdengo. And then we can start to set up our Team Rocket's Ekans. We can use Botherbot. Superior Energy Retrieval. Okay, it's the same one. And I'm gonna retreat. I'm just gonna use Muck to attack with Gooped Up. That will confuse their Gholdengo EX, and now they cannot retreat. So if they try to attack, they have to flip a coin successfully. Otherwise, it'll just damage itself. But yeah, Team Rocket's Botherbot is super awesome, guys. Along with this Chingling, because Chingling is also random, but Botherbot is also random. You can just flip one of their prize cards, and then one of the random cards in their hand, and then you could prize it. I never thought that it's actually gonna be this effective. It is random, but it's very effective. My opponent has a switch though, and they have TM Evolution, but our Jamming Tower is in effect, so they can't really use it. Nice, my opponent's just gonna pass. Look at that. Alright, we got Ariana, thankfully. We can draw into a lot more cards. We can evolve into our Team Rocket's Arbok. We don't have any energies, but I feel like if I switch into Arbok, they could just knock it out with Gholdengo. So I'm just gonna trap their Cyndaquil in the active for now. But they can still evolve it though, that's the thing. They can evolve it, remove the confusion, and also the effect where it cannot retreat. My opponent will use Arven. They're probably just gonna try and get more energies, but now they have 2 Gholdengo EX into play. They can draw into a lot more cards. see how my opponent plays this out, but this should be an easy out for us. Oh, they're confused, but they got heads. And they're just gonna attack for 30 with Ethan Cyndaquil. Okay. Well, we can knock it out, but that's gonna be pointless if they can attack with Gholdengo. We're just gonna lose our Muck. So what I'm gonna do is switch our Chingling in the active. We could just retreat it if we need to. I'm gonna use Iono. And see what we could do here. Jamming Tower seems to be working fine. I think I'm just gonna use Chiming Commotion. Have him discard one card. So we got a Nest Ball. So now my opponent gets to evolve into their Ethan's Quilava. And that's fine. But we have to find our TM Devolution right away. And once we devolve all of their Pokemon, we should be able to lock them out with Team Rocket's Arbok while it's in the active. They're gonna get Counter Catcher with Arvin, but that doesn't work because both players still have 6 prizes left. They will recover 2 energies with Super Rod. Question is, will they be able to attack this turn? You're gonna use Bonded by the Journey ability, allowing them to search their deck for Ethan's Adventure Supporter card. And if you guys didn't know, Ethan's Typhlosion's attack only requires 1 fire energy, and its damage output depends on how many Ethan's Adventure cards are in the discard pile, and it can hit for a lot of damage. They will evolve into another Gholdengo EX. They will draw 1 more card, and once again they're just gonna pass. Okay, I am alright with that. We got Team Rocket's Transceiver. Okay, this is actually what we needed, because we can just get our Team Rocket's Petrel, and that will allow us to get our TM Devolution, and then we can switch our Team Rocket's Arbok in the active and then prevent them from evolving their Pokemon. So let's go ahead and retreat our Chingling. And actually we have to remove our Jamming Tower, right? Yeah, let's go ahead and use Devolution. Devolve their Quilava and their 3 Gholdengo EX. And now they shouldn't be able to attack unless they have a Rare Candy and Ethan's Typhlosion. They can evolve straight into that, start attacking. But they're just gonna concede. Alright, I'll take that. Good game. On to our final match. I had to mulligan once, and this time I will be starting with Team Rocket's Grimer in the active spot. My opponent draws 1 extra card from our mulligan, and I will be going first in this matchup. They're gonna start with Fluttermane. Okay. Let's go ahead and set up our other Grimer. We can use Team Rocket's Botherbot. I will pick number 2. It's an energy, and for the random card, it is Pokegear. And yes, I will have them swap it as one of their prizes instead. So with that prize, maybe my opponent will not be able to find the supporter card that they need during this turn. But never mind, they have another Pokegear. For the most part though, I think Team Rocket's Botherbot is really awesome. Especially in disruption builds like this one. And I think it combos really well with Xerosic's Machinations. Because if you think about it, if you force your opponent to discard cards until they only have 3 left, of course they're going to discard the ones that they think they don't need. And then all of a sudden, once you play Team Rocket's Botherbot, now they have to prize one of them. And it's completely random, so they can't even choose. And if you prize one of the cards that they really need, that could disrupt their hand a lot. For now though, my opponent is gonna set up 2 other basic Pokemon on their bench with Nest Ball. They have Koraidon and also Roaring Moon EX. And since a lot of their Pokemon, if not all of them, are basic, TM Devolution is not gonna help here. And most of their Pokemon doesn't have abilities either, so I don't think Team Rocket's Arbok is gonna be as useful in this matchup. Okay, they're gonna use Explorer's Guidance. You look at the top 7 cards of your deck, you discard 4 of them, and then you can keep 3 in your hand. So they probably have Baby Roaring Moon in this build as well, because that's the only thing that why they would discard a lot of cards. But they didn't attack, they're just gonna pass. I think I'm just gonna play Xerosic's Machinations, to be honest with you. That way that will
put them down back to 3 cards in their hand. We can't attack right now, but maybe next turn we can use Ariana and just have them discard a lot of their Pokemon using Grimer. So we're just gonna end our turn here. And I don't even know if my opponent can switch out their active. So there's a few options with that. They can either use Latias EX or Petron EX. And that could actually affect our strategy. They can use Professor Satis Vitality to accelerate energy. Now they can retreat Flutter Mane and they can start attacking with their Roaring Moon EX. So there's the baby Roaring Moon. We'll attach the Ancient Booster Energy Capsules to do their Pokemon, adding 60 more HP, and they will take a knockout against our Grimer. Thankfully, we have Night Stretcher, so we can set it up again. We got Gravity Gemstone. Alright. Let's go ahead and put this back into play. We can Gravity Gemstone our active, and then we can counter capture this Koraidon, and we're going to draw more cards with Ariana. I guess I can play Jamming Tower later. Or I can play it now, it's fine. I can attach this energy to Grimer, and we're just gonna use Corrosive Sludge. So if they cannot retreat their Koraidon, they're gonna discard it at the end of their turn. So that means we'll get another chance to discard more of their Pokemon. And it's fine if they knock out our Grimer, as long as we discard their Pokemon in return. So they're gonna set up another Flutter Mane, another baby Roaring Moon. Although the Jamming Tower is not gonna be as useful, because anyways, we're not attacking as much in this deck. But it's just a matter of whether or not my opponent can switch their Pokemon in and out of the active spot. Okay, they're gonna pass. Corrosive Sludge takes into effect, discarding their Koraidon. Now it's our turn again. They have to pick which Pokemon they want to promote in the active spot. They're gonna go with Flutter Mane. Okay, its ability doesn't affect us. So for now, I'm just gonna evolve into Team Rocket's Arbok. I could still spread damage to their Pokemon. Maybe. And we have Neutralization Zone. But for now, I'm just going to replace Jamming Tower. That way, our Gravity Gemstone will take into effect, making it a lot harder for our opponent's Pokemon to retreat. Because even if they attach an energy to this Flutter Mane, they cannot retreat it. Because we're adding 1 extra retreat cost to their Pokemon. So we're just gonna make it really hard for our opponent to get around our disruption. But they're continuing to discard cards, man. And Corrosive Sludge once again takes into effect, discarding another Pokemon. It is increasing Roaring Moon's attack every time we discard their cards. So the more ancient Pokemon or ancient cards that are on the discard pile, the stronger Roaring Moon's attack will be. For now though, I'm just gonna attach a card on Arbok and also Gravity Gemstone on my other Grimer. We're gonna use Iono, and we have counter catchers, so once again we can just keep disrupting them. For now though, I'm gonna use Nest Ball to get Team Rocket's Chingling. And I could try discarding more cards with Chingling, but I think I'm just gonna go with Corrosive Sludge for now. They will attack with Roaring Moon. They're gonna knock out my Grimer, but that's fine. We have another Grimer and Team Rocket's energy, so we can just keep discarding their Pokemon. Their next attacker will be Roaring Moon EX. We'll just discard that. They have 5 more prizes to go anyways, but This time they're gonna boss Team Rocket's Arbok, and that's fine with me. Because now that will preserve our Grimer, giving us more opportunities to discard their Pokemon. So they're gonna take a knockout, they will take a prize. They have 4 more prizes to go. Corrosive Sludge takes into effect, discarding their Roaring Moon once again. And now my opponent has to make a decision here. They're gonna put Roaring Moon EX into play. Okay, I'm gonna disrupt them with Xerosic's Machinations and just have them discard a lot of cards. And then we're gonna use Chingling to discard 1 more card from their hand. But for now, I'm gonna trap this Great Tusk in their active. So we discarded Koraidon. And yeah. And they're gonna use Explorer's Guidance. Dude, do they not realize that they don't have any more cards left in their deck? They're just gonna deck out. Alright, that's alright with me. I'm just gonna continue to discard their cards with Chingling then. And then we still have Neutralization Zone. The only attackers that they have is Roaring Moon EX. And if they don't have any more energies to recover, they can't even attack with Roaring Moon. And they're just gonna pass. Look at this. Yeah, we're just gonna continue with Chiming Commotion. They don't have any more cards left in their hand. They will draw 1, but it's just a matter of time before they deck out. And there you have it, guys. This is it. This is the strategy. You can deck them out, prevent them from playing any cards from their deck. This is an awesome disruption build, guys. What is my opponent gonna do? Okay, they're just gonna pass. Let's go ahead and use Chiming Commotion 1 more time. End our turn, and my opponent will draw their last card. And this is it. All we have to do is just pass at the end of their turn, and we're gonna win the game. You know, partly it was my opponent's fault for discarding too much of the cards that they had. And there you have it. My opponent ends their turn, and we're just gonna pass, and they're gonna deck out, and that will win us the game. All right, good game.
And that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and until next time, please stay safe and have a great day.